All purchases, of course, especially property, comes with certain risk. So please check with your bankers in terms of your financial standing, and also your trusted advisor from ERA to give you a better understanding of what you're entering into. But generally speaking, EC has been a very sought after product in the market. Why so? Because we cover a very good portion of what a lot of Singaporeans desire, which is to own a private property. Now, EC is especially given a boost by the recent launches that we have, and the take-up rate has been very, very high. And to fulfill the aspiration of Singaporeans owning condominiums, the government came out with this special product called executive condominium. So privileged people like yourself, Singaporeans, you can actually enter into a very strong product called the EC within the private condominium arena. Okay, so let's do some price analysis here. Okay, I think in general District 18, where Tampines is held in right smack in the middle of it. Okay, I took three residences, three condominiums, to do a comparison between the three products that we have currently in the market. Now, Tapestry, as you all know, is a private condominium launched by CDL, fully taken up, but I still take it because they are going to TOP very soon, and that was the recent transacted prices. And I'm comparing prices of Parc Central in relation to Tapestry. And also, some of you should know another new launch called Treasure at Tampines, and how does the price between these three actually correlates, and how this pricing that was announced today but at Parc Central actually makes a very good, better bet in terms of pricing. Okay. Before I start my price analysis, let's do some development price zones that we have. Okay, so as you can see in the yellow color boxes here, the blue color boxes and the red color boxes. So the entry level kind of pricing that we have at Parc Central are those in the yellow boxes. Okay, so the mid-tier ones are in the blue zones here. Okay, if you can see my mouse cursor. Okay, then the red zones one are my premium ones. So this is how, in general, the prices are actually skewed at Parc Central residences. Now, if I compare the three of them, the three launches at Tampines itself, okay, you will see, and I've taken fifth floor as a benchmark throughout my presentation so that we are consistent with what we have in terms of numbers and per square feet as well. If you take a look at this screen right now, Parc Central, I took 0506, which is a 3-bedroom premium. Okay, and it's a pool-facing one. Okay, we are priced at about 1,212,500, which is going about $1,150 per square feet. And then Tapestry, which was fully sold late last year. Okay, the premium units at their place there cost about 1,290 per square feet. Okay, which is about 12% higher. Now, you should also know that Tapestry was launched about 3 years before Parc Central, and their land bid price was at least $100 cheaper, okay, than what Parc Central developer Hoi Hub has actually bid for this project. Okay, so you should know in these 3 years, property prices are actually, especially private residences, actually shifted upwards. But you can sense that because it's an EC, the pricing of the EC actually is even lower at this current market than comparing with the new launches around. Okay, so if you look at Tapestry, we are about 12% lower than Tapestry last transacted 3-bedroom premium unit facing the pool as well. And if I compare myself to Treasure at Tampines, a pool view premium unit will cost you about 1.445 million, okay, which is about 1,400 per square feet. Now that is a whopping 22% difference in price. Okay, so how does a good entry price, how does a safe entry price, and is entry price important to you? I will dwell on this later on in the segment, okay, but on this note here, I just want you to have a feel of the new launch prices around Tampines with regard to 3-bedroom. Then I move on to something bigger, which some of you, I understand, are also looking at, okay, which is the 4-bedroom. Okay, again, I took the same 3 developments, Parc Central, Tapestry, and Treasure at Tampines. Now, if you look at the overall picture of things, okay, Parc Central 4-bedroom were on a premium unit on the 5th floor, 0528, will cost about 1.4 million at about 1,160 per square feet. Now, the Tapestry last transacted was about 1.7 million, okay, which is about 1,002 per square feet. Again, you can see here that it is higher, even when, okay, the land bidding price for Tapestry was lower than Parc Central. Okay, then I also took another comparison for premium 4-bedroom unit at Treasure. Okay, and then I find that, you know, our pricing at Park Central based on the current market, and because it's an EC, is priced 22% lower, okay, for a 4-bedroom at Park Central. So if you really do have the chance, then you should seriously consider a unit at Park Central. Okay, now let's dwell into the price analysis of things within the development per se. So what I did here is I tried to compare the various types of 3-bedrooms and 4-bedrooms, and to help you and to assist, okay, you in looking into the fundamentals of the pricing and how you can better choose units in the event your choice units are taken. Okay, let's do a comparison now for our entry-level 3-bedroom, our C1s and C2. The C1s are in red, okay, which is only one stack. Okay, the C2s are in green, in 4 different stacks that we have. So they're located, C1 is here, C2 is here, 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 and here. Okay, which is stack 14, 36, 40, and 43. In the event you don't know what is stack, stack means the unit, okay, the unit number. Okay, so the market lingo is stack lah. Okay, so the stack number that we have here is 14, 36, 40, and 43 for our C2s. So 4 different types of C2 for you to choose from, and 1 type of C1 that we can choose from. Now, what's the main difference between our C1 and C2? Okay, our C1s, if you look at the red color circle here on my left, okay, C1, you can see there's about 81 square meter, whereas a C2, okay, is about 2 square meter bigger, okay, it's about 83 square meter. If you take a look at this, where is the main difference in the 2 layout is actually this space over here, which gives you a slightly bigger dining area and hall itself. Now, if you look at the things of how this price was structured, okay, C1 has only 1 stack, I told you earlier, C2 has 4 stacks. So in terms of per square feet, these two the stack 17, C1 and our C2s are actually the same. Okay, if you calculate the per square feet, the only difference is the size. So if you have a bigger size, of course, naturally the price will be slightly bigger. But if you come back by per square feet wise, both C1 and C2 are about the same per square feet. So if you're only choosing C1s, and you may want to open up your choices, okay, and consider C2 as well, because in terms of per square feet pricing itself, they are about the same. So if you do open up to C2, you have a more units and more stacks for you to choose from. From 1 stack, you can actually choose up to 5 stacks if you consider both C1 and C2. And if you look at the price itself, it is almost, for these both stacks, right, you can actually get units below 1.05 mil, okay, which is quite a good bargain in the current market. If you've been to enough show flats in Singapore, not only District 18 Tampines itself, but the whole island itself, and just considering OCR out of core central region, okay, it is virtually impossible, okay, to get something of a 3-bedroom size and also with a storeroom in as well. Okay, price below 1.05 million. Okay, so these are 5 different stacks you can choose from, and I hope I can help you with opening up your choices even more. Okay, now moving on. Okay, we compare our type C3 and type C5. Okay, C3s are the one in red, 4 different stacks, but just take note here, stack 38 is our pool facing, so naturally it's a bit more premium. Okay, this is where the main pool is. Okay, they call this the lake pool. Yeah. Okay, so at stack C5, okay, they are both in green. I have 2 stacks here. Now let's do a comparison on these 2 floor plans itself and take a deep in-depth understanding of the pricing and the differences in sizes. Okay, our C3 and C5 essentially the difference is only about 1 square meter, and just like our C1 and C2, okay, the main difference is where the dining and living area is. So you get a slightly bigger hall and a slightly bigger dining area. Now, if you take a look at stack 35, 39, and 18, they have the same kind of pricing. Okay, so 35, 39, and stack 18 have the same kind of pricing. So you may want to choose across these 3 stacks, okay, in the event that you are looking at this kind of type. So don't just confine yourself to C3 or only C5. You can open up because the difference is only about 1 square meter where the dining area is. Okay, so for stack 18 and stack 10, there's a difference of about 26,000, okay? Because, okay, generally speaking, our stack 10, okay, has a further clearance from the opposite building called Alps. Okay, so it's about 80 meters away. So there's a slight difference in price, about 26,000. So it's not much, 26,000 in essence. It sounds big to you, but if you are taking a loan over this purchase, right, your installment is actually actually very marginal. It's probably looking about $30 per month more, but you get something, okay, with a better clearance. So you can try to consider not only stack 18, but our stack 10 as well. Okay, so if you top up a bit more, about 5% more, okay, you can also choose stack 38, which is the pool facing ones. Okay, so this leaves you with more choices, because my understanding is because of the hype up demand for ECs at Tampines, right? There's an oversubscription of our EAPs, and I also understand that a lot of people desire to own a condominium within a brand new one, especially within Tampines itself. Okay, so in the event that your queue number may not be too good, not in the first few, not in the first 10 or 20 or even 30 itself. So try to open up yourself with more choices. Okay, the difference between C3 and C5 is marginal. Okay, so the only difference is where the dining area is. Okay, all right. So this is my C3 and C5s. Okay, how about my C6 and C7? Okay, C6 are in red color. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, we have quite a lot of stacks or units here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, the premium ones will of course be our 42, which is the direct pool view. Okay, 33, which a partial pool view, will also be priced accordingly. Okay, and 13, 12, and 44 are our entry level pricing for our C6. Now our C7s are located here in green, okay, in stack 24 and 25. Both are pool view. Okay, the more premium price, of course, would be 25. Okay, because they have a more direct pool view itself. Okay, so where's the difference between C6 and C7? Okay, C6 is around about 92 square meter. C7 is only about 3 square meter bigger. It's about 95 square meters. The main difference is where the foyer is. Okay, so the walk-in area from the main door. Okay, so you can see from C6 here, it comes in this portion here, whereas a C7, which is slightly bigger at 95 square meter, you have a slightly bigger foyer. We can, you can actually consider, okay, putting your shoe racks, your display cabinets of your trophies and your pictures when you step into your house. Okay, so that's the main difference between C6 and C7. Now let's take a deeper look into the pricing of things. Okay, so my 0513 and my 0444, they're all both same price. Okay, they are the same price, so you can choose between these two stacks if you're choosing it. Okay, if you top up about $6,000 more, you can move on to our stack 12. Okay, which is facing Street 86, okay, near the main road there, okay, and it's about 6,000 more only, so you can open up your choices more by putting up another 6 more thousand, which is stacked from 1344, okay, into stack 12 as well. Okay, so if you like a pool view, you can choose between our stack 42, okay, which is here, and our C7, 24 and 25, which are both pool view. Okay, so this is some things that you can consider when trying to choose between the stacks of C6 and C7. Okay, and the good thing is I've done the past 3 launches, namely Piermont Grand, then thereafter Parc Canberra, and thereafter Ola. Now, the main, I wouldn't say complaint, I would say the main feedback, okay, that my customers actually feedback to me, and even my own agents feedback to me, is that the smaller 3-bedroom don't have a storeroom. Now, if you look at all my Park Central, okay, floor plans for my 3-bedroom, they all come with the storeroom itself. So there should not be this issue at all, because I understand that as we live in this pandemic world, the new order that we are in. Okay, we tend to stay at home even more, so the storage of things are getting more and more. Okay, so at Park Central, okay, where all my show units, right, and all my units available comes with a storeroom. So this will answer the most part of the grounds that people face with the past 3 ECs that we have. Okay, so if you're looking at something a bit more compact, a bit more palatable in price, okay, for a 3-bedroom, okay, in terms of EC, then definitely Park Central is very suitable for you. Okay, then let's move on. Our biggest unit, okay, for 3-bedroom, our C8s. A lot of my clients are looking at this. I understand one of them is actually in this webinar now. Okay, we are all looking at C8. Why? The good thing about C8, it comes with a study which is very flexible. Okay, so this is something, it means a 3+ study at 1055 square feet. Now I tend to compare this with our slightly bigger units, our D1, which is our 4-bedroom. So let's see where's our C8. Our C8 is where the red color node is, okay, the circles here. So we have about 5 stacks or 5 units available, 23, 26, 30, 6, and 1. Naturally, 6 will be the premium price one because we are directly facing the pool itself. Okay, 23, 26, and 30, they are all unblocked from the side. Okay, so now that being said, okay, how does it correlate with D1, our entry 4-bedroom that we have? Let's take a look at this. Now our C8s, they are about 98 square meter. Like I told you earlier, we have this store here, which no other, the other Cs they don't have. Okay, and our D1 is about 103 square meters. So it's about 5 square meter in size, difference in size. The main difference between these two types are actually where this bedroom size comparing to the study is. So with this bedroom will be bigger. You can put a single bed in or a super single in if you want. There's also a wardrobe available. Okay, our study, it comes with an air condition as well. So you can actually convert this to a bedroom you also want. So both, okay, both layouts, okay, you can consider between them. You're toggling when it's your chance to book on the Saturday. Okay, so then in terms of price, right, for type C8, our stacks 23, 26, and 30 have the same pricing. So it's along where Avenue 10 is, and they're almost similar location within the development. So you open up your choices with 3 different stacks you can choose from. So if you top up another $500, you can try to push on to stack number 1, okay, which is nearer to our main drop-off area. Okay, then you open up yourself with more choices. So you can actually consider 23, 26, 30, and 1 as well. Pricing wise, very similar between the 3. And if you move on to where stack 1 is, it's only about a $500 difference, okay, in terms of pricing. Okay, all right. So alternatively, you can consider a 4-bedroom as well in the event C8 is too well taken. Okay, so you can consider a 4-bedroom, a bigger 4-room, the 4th bedroom size, by topping up about another 5 or 6 more %. Not only will you get a proper bedroom, your facing will also be facing the swimming pool itself, which is premium. Okay, so this is my C8 comparing to my D1. Then let's come and compare our D3 and D4s. Now our D3s are in red. They're basically lined up along here, 22, 27, 31, our 7. Stack number 7 is facing the main pool, 4 as well. The rest 2 is facing nearer to the drop-off area. Okay, our D4s are actually in green, okay, in stack 20, 11, and 8 itself. So 8 being will be the more premium ones because it's facing the bigger pool itself. Now let's look at the floor plans and do some analysis in terms of price and where the main difference in floor plans are. Okay, distinctly, of course, D3 is slightly smaller, about by 2 square meters only. Okay, so not much of a difference. So if you're choosing a 4-bedroom, you can toggle between D3 and D4 to open up more choices for you. Okay, when you come to on the booking day on Saturday itself. Comparing all the 5th floor, like I mentioned earlier, okay, the entry price on the 5th floor unit will be about 1.33 million. Okay, all right. So my stack 2, 27, and 31 are all the same price. So you're quite safe. You're choosing this stack. So in the event, okay, that is running out of choices for you, okay, you can consider a slightly bigger unit in D4. The main difference between our D3 and D4 is actually this bedroom size here. Okay, this bedroom can fit in a queen, whereas this one can put in a super king. Okay, so that's the main difference between where the 3 square meter comes from. Okay, so the difference between stack 4 and 7 versus stack 20, okay, so 4 and 7 versus stack 20, okay, is only about $6,000. So if you get a bigger unit for stack 20, why not, for only 6,000? Okay, so open up your choices in terms of this floor plans and pricing that we have. Don't just dwell in and say that, you tell our agents, I just want D3, I just don't want D4. But if you look into the bigger picture of things, you can actually find good star buys within the unit itself where you can toggle between, okay, in terms of pricing and size. Okay, so this is my D3 and D4. Okay, so that is my development per se itself. Pricing, okay, starts from 900 over 1,000 all the way to our 5-bedroom. Okay, so that is our development on Parc Central. So let me give you a bit of market updates right now and also the 5 essential reasons, okay, why you should choose Parc Central, okay, as your only purchase in 2021. Okay, during this pandemic period, I remember last year when we had the lockdown, everyone was very worried, what will happen to, things in situation, especially in real estate itself. Okay, we were all worried, the market would dip, the market, will be very hard to have a rebound, from the highs that we have in 2019. But surprisingly, okay, really surprisingly, at the end of 2020, you can see from this report here that resale condo prices has maintained an upward trend. Okay, why is this happening? Okay, simply because, okay, during this 2020 period that we had last year, which is not a few weeks ago, okay, we had very low interest rate. Okay, that low interest rate does, what does low interest rate mean? Low interest rate means your cost of borrowing is lower. Okay, because of this phenomenon that we have, people are starting to enter into the market. And then during this circuit breaker period that we had, okay, people were not too confident with equities. They're not too confident with shares. Okay, so they're starting to put their dollar into commodities such as real estate itself, because they know with a land scarcity like Singapore, the size of Singapore is only that big that we have. So they trust and know that the government will protect the prices. The government then also, because the prices are actually maintained at the level that will not drop to a level that they will lose money. So this is some pent-up demand that we had during the circuit breaker period, and they lost faith in the other asset classes like equities, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, so buyers, because they travel less, they have a bit more savings, they're starting to put money into the real estate itself. And of course, buying real estate is never like last time where you can flip. The people look at it at a long-term basis. So if you look at this phenomenon of a rising price in property itself, it does go against the common belief that everything will drop. Okay, in fact, in certain market itself, like the real estate, has picked up so much that that people are starting to see the strength in real estate market in Singapore. Ultimately, in the end, everyone needs a roof over their head. Okay, so you can never do away with residential property. Okay, so this is the market update in 2020. Okay, so as you can see from here, that is for our resale. Even our new homes has matched 2029 or even better. My understanding is we have hit the final figure for new home sales has actually superseded the figure in 2019 comparing to 2020. Okay, so people like something newer. They tend to believe that newer things give them better returns. Okay, because in the resale market, I'm in the market. I'm a practicing salesperson as well. Okay, I know when I start to serve clients that they tend to look for something newer. Okay, why? Because not only do they have a longer lease, okay, the over aesthetic and of things there within a newer development gives them a bit of more comfort than a much older development itself. And of course, okay, not every development you see in Singapore are freehold. In fact, I would say about 80% of new launches out there are on 99-year lease. Okay, so the newer the product, the higher you can command in terms of the resale price next time. So once people understand this, and most buyers tend to go for newer resale condominiums or even a brand new condominiums, then that makes buying a brand new condominium logical. And then if you can buy a brand new condominium at about 15 or 20% lower than what the market is offering out there, then your investment is very safe. Okay, so going forward, there will be continued growth, in the residential market. And in fact, for the last quarter or so, we have moved about 2.1% higher. Okay, so what's in store for 2021? Okay, what's in store for 2021? Okay, so report by a CBRE, a local private property real estate company. They are predicting, that this continued demand for real estate will grow. Okay, because as you know now, the government is rolling out the mass vaccination. Okay, the lower interest rate and the liquidity drives the property market investment up in 2021. So there will be still strong demand for new homes within Singapore itself. Okay, then this is something that you watch out for. I think most of you here in this webinar, most of our customers here, are second timers, or at least owning a HDB flat. Okay, you know that once the moment that the HDB flat reach the MOP period, there's an urgency for you all to sell the unit. Why is it so? Because if you're in the market itself, your agents can attest to this as well. The buyers can tell you this as well. Okay, usually a HDB resale, that reach the MOP will reach the peak of its pricing at the 6th year. Okay, that means from the moment you reach your minimum occupation period. Okay, thereafter, as the lease get longer, the resale pricing tend to depreciate. Okay, so there will be at the next 1 or 2 years time, in 2021 and 2022, there will be about 35,000 plus about 30,000 here to be 75,000 BTOs out there reaching their MOP. Now, can you, just like you, these people who just reached their MOP would desire, to upgrade themselves to a private property. Okay, if need be, they will definitely look at EC first, because I've been serving a lot of EC clients for the past 6 months since the circuit breaker was lifted into phase 3. Okay, and I can tell you for sure, 90% of my customers are second timers who just reached the MOP period of 5 years and they're looking into buying ECs. Okay, so this is the expected demand for private property will increase because of the expected increase in the number of MOP units in the coming years also. Okay, so why Parc Central Residences Executive Condominium? Why? Okay, I'll give you 5 reasons. Okay, 5 simple reasons for you to take home and ponder tonight before when you make a decision on Saturday to book the desired unit you want. First, it's the lowest entry price in the current market itself. ECs definitely for sure about 15 to 20% lower than comparable new launches. Okay, Parc Central, okay, residences averaging about 1170 per square feet. If you compare to all the available new launches now at the OCR, I'm not comparing you to District 910 in Orchard, or where District or RCR itself. I'm comparing OCR out of core central region. These few are in at least the northeast and eastern part of Singapore. Okay, so I'm comparing all these new launches, and you can find that the current market, the price of Parc Central comparing to what is available and what you can buy in the market now is easily about 16 to 48% lower. Entry price is important. A lot of people ask me, a lot of my customers ask me, a lot of my loved ones ask me, a lot of my cousins ask me, what is a sound real estate investment? Okay, any person will tell you, okay, buy low, sell high. That is the perfect scenario. But can you really do that in the current market? Okay, so if you ask me, being in this market for the past 15 years, it's hard to find this kind of product except EC. That is why even my own younger brother and my own cousins, okay, I encourage them to buy ECs and they have not regretted till now. Okay, so this is something that you can see clearly now, that averaging price across board between Parc Central comparing to the rest of the developments out there that's available for sale, we can find that we're easily about 16 to 48% lower. Okay, so this is something that you should take note of. I will tell you later why entry price is important. And then we possibly be the only new launch out there that can cost less than 1.05 or even less than $1 million for a 3-bedroom. At Riverfront, which is Hougang, Treasure, okay, which is of course at Tampines, you all should know where is it. Okay, Florence at Hougang as well, Affinity at Serangoon, Sengkang, which is at Buangkok. Okay, these are all their entry-level 3-bedroom prices. Okay, entry-level means, okay, they're compact ones. Okay, they're compact ones. Okay, so they're at least you have to spend about 1.2 million getting a compact ones. Whereas at Parc Central Residences itself, for less than $1 million or even 1.05 million, you can get a decent size 900 over square feet 3-bedroom. Okay, and okay, you don't have to spend 200,000 more to get one comparing to other OCR launches that we have out there. Okay, now is lower entry price important? Then you ask yourself this question. Let's take a look. Privé at Punggol, which is the EC, the NOP about last year or the year before. Okay, let's take a look. I want you to take a look at this bottom information here, which are highlighted in the red box. Privé at Punggol, and compare is an EC itself. Okay, and compare it with Treasure Trove, which is near the train station, called Punggol train station. River House, okay, which is a private condominium, okay, also launched by ERA a few years ago. And I compared these 3 developments within Punggol itself. So I took an EC compared to 2 private condo launches. Okay, then guess what I found out? This, from the graph itself, clearly shows that the red color, this orange color, red color line that you see here belongs to Privé, okay, which is EC. The light blue one is Treasure Trove, okay. The darker blue one is River House. You can see from here, for the past 10 years, okay, the entry level price was indeed lower than the 2 launches that we had previously. Look at the gains now. Look at the gains now. Okay, for Privé itself. Privé has gained 46% since the last 10 years. So if you equate this in terms of 10 years, it's every year is about 4.5, 4.6%, close to 5% per annum. How many products out there can give you this return that good in the market? Ask yourself this question. Okay, but if you do get a private condominium, for that matter, during the period of time, the same period of time, let's say, for example, you get Treasure Trove, then you're gaining about 20%. Okay, in fact, no, minus 20% over here. Okay, River House, that means you lose money. At River House itself, okay, you gain about 17%, which is about 1.7%, which is lower than what inflation rate is like in Singapore. Okay, inflation rate usually dwells about 2 to 3% per annum. GDP is also about there. So the gains from River Isles comparing to Privé cannot be matched. Okay, can't be matched. Okay, that is Punggol. How about Sengkang? Sengkang, I took Esperina and EC. Okay, my cousin bought a unit there as well, sold it and make some money there. Okay, so Esperina again is in orange. Okay, Jewel, Buangkok, which is right next to Esperina, brand new launch. Okay, then, okay, and Quartz, which is slightly older, a condo, which was launched earlier than Esperina itself. Okay, so we can see that the entry price was lower than the other two that I mentioned itself, Esperina. Just look at the gain itself here. Again, this box here. So for the past 10 years itself, okay, Esperina has gained in terms of pricing 43%, which works out to be 4.3% per annum. Okay, very close to what Privé had to offer. Okay, but if I compare myself to Jewel and Buangkok, the gain was about 3%. Okay, which for the past 10 years, which is 0.3% gain per year, much lower than inflation. Okay, inflation means I'm an economist by training. Inflation means how much your dollar today will gain in 10 years time. Okay, so they have gained about 0.3% per annum. Okay, then look at Quartz itself. Quartz only grew about 11%. So again, your entry price is important, because if you buy something at lower and further down the road, when MOP is fulfilled or when it's fully privatized, your resale price will be what then the resale price will be. It will never be a situation when I bring a buy, say for example, you ask me to sell your Parc Central residences 10 years down the road. It will never be a situation where buyers come and say, oh, James, because your seller's place is an EC, that's why offered lower. Doesn't work that way, because an EC is exactly like a private condominium. Okay, only thing there are certain eligibility issues. But once you fulfill this eligibility issue, then you are buying something at a lower price. Okay, and next time, in 10 years' time, when you're starting to sell unit, you will sell at what the market dictates then. Okay, there will be no way that people say that, oh, because you are a EC, so I'm going to offer you a slightly lower price. Doesn't work that way. Okay, so Esperina itself gains about 43% for the past 10 years, working out to be a 4.3% per annum. Then, but something very close to our heart, Trillion, okay, Tampines Trillion, which is also an EC. I compare with the past two developments called Q Bay Residences and the Alps Residences. We just TOP last year. Okay, then again, you can see from here. Okay, okay, that our average price for Trillion has actually gained about 34%, which should be 3.4% for the past 10 years. Okay, and then the average price for Q-Bay gain about 5%, and average price for Alps gain about 13%. So this comes into question. Every single EC I pick from any district will have gains of at least 30 to 40 to 50% gain. Okay, so that is why entry price is important. So if you remember my earlier slides when I compare between Tapestry and Treasure at Tampines, the price that we offer at Parc Central, if you qualify for it, you better buy, because that price is at the lowest entry you have for any new launches out there. In 10 years' time, when you sell, you really appreciate what James here is telling you, what your trusted agent ERA is telling you to buy. Okay, because I really don't think you'll make a regret making this decision to get an EC called Parc Central Residences. Okay, then I look at the fuller picture of things at District 18, the new launches for the past 10 years, and I found out that even at the average price of 1170 per square feet, it's still about 15% lower than what is currently the average price of District 18 is. It's about 1346. So your entry price that you enter into Parc Central, okay, is already 15% lower. So next time when you sell at the market price, then you are already about 15% lower than. It's just like, imagine if you're running a 100-meter race with equivalent fitness, two athletes with equivalent fitness itself. But you are actually 15 meters ahead of him. So give you this head start when you reach the entry point, the final exit point that you have. Okay, you actually gain more. Okay, because of your lower entry price. Okay, then comes this question. Oh, you're sitting on a fence. You are thinking, and let's wait out. You're telling your wife or your husband, dear, let's wait out. Maybe it's too expensive for this current EC. It's not. But future one, the market won't be good, the price will drop, they'll plummet into a level where we are back into 10 years ago Jurassic time. It's not going to happen. Why? Because I'm going to show you something that enlightens you, okay, what the future prices of EC will be, okay? Now, this is Park Central residences that we are talking about, okay? So our land price bid is about 578 per square feet per plot ratio. Province, okay, which is another upcoming one this year. So there will be two this year at Canberra Crescent near Sembawang. Okay, it's at 5662, not much of a difference. Okay, the other Fernvale, Yishun, and Tengah is not bidded yet. Okay, so because of this, they are not bidded yet. Okay, so this four pricing you see, how much different are there? About $10 or $20 per square feet per plot ratio difference. Now, you can tell me that, oh, because it's lower than Park Central, residences, the price will be lower. No, this is not going to happen. I'll tell you why. Follow me on this. If you have seen this newspaper report, then our National Development Minister Lawrence Wong has announced, okay, that but of course now there's a new National Development Minister called Desmond Lee, okay, but then he announced during the circuit breaker period that during this COVID-19 crisis, okay, the cost of construction are bound to increase for contractors. Okay, why? Because the cost of building has become higher. Okay, and it's estimated to increase by 7 to 10% on a very conservative estimate. So Park Park Central residents, which has been which are on launch now, okay, enter into this contract with us. So further down the road, construction costs will increase. Why? Because the upcoming one, which is the next one at Fernvale, they are mandated to use a PBVC construction method by the authorities. So if you know that, PBVC is actually more expensive. Okay, so if Park Central construction cost is estimated by 280 to 320 per square feet per plot ratio, the upcoming EC will cost at least $28 to $64 per square feet more in terms of construction cost alone. Because the driving cost, the cost driver behind PBVC is actually the cost of building it. So this actually increases between 10 to 20% incrementally more in terms of construction. So even when a price of the new ECs that's coming on board this year or next year, if you factor in the increased construction cost because of this PVVC requirement, then definitely the following launches will at least equivalent or higher than what Park Central residences prices will be. So no, the future EC price for new launches will not decrease, but instead increase. Second reason, growth. This is important. You are holding on to asset now. You have an HDB now. Okay, and I compare this with condominium. Okay, how different does it make? Okay, since 2013, the HDB price index has dropped about 11%. In 2017, private housing has increased by 11%. This is entirely opposite. 15 years ago when I first started my career in real estate, my seniors always tell me, James, okay, very simple. If HDB goes down, private will go down. That means HDB is the cost driver. And the private residential pricing index is a move in correlation, in tandem with HDB prices. That was 15 years ago. But what happened in 2013? Why did this phenomenon happen when HDB went down and private went up? Okay, so if this is the phenomenon that we're experiencing now, which is still experiencing now, then a lower entry price like an EC and especially Park Central will make it an even stronger product. Why? This is why so. Okay, so this is the drop in 11.2%, whereas this is the increment for HDB here, drop 11%. The increment of private property was here. And the important parts are these two dates here in 1.3 and 1.7. Let's take a look what happened then. Okay, so why the HDB price start to fall in 2013, or at least I wouldn't say fall, stagnated or slightly decreased. Okay, because the government introduced in 2013 the additional buy stamp duties on PRs for HDB as well. Huh? Okay, there was a tightening of use for CPF, okay, which means you are mandated, okay, by the mortgage service ratio. There's a tighter eligibility for loans, okay. There's a revision in maximum tenure for housing loans from 30 to 25 years, and PRs cannot sublet their units out anymore. Okay, so and one more thing also, PRs must sell the HDB if they own a private property. So because of this, HDB resale prices start to drop. And then in 2017, the phenomenon went again when there's a further drop, whereas this time round, these cooling measures both went down, but in 2017, there was a dichotomy where private property went up and HDB stabilized or went down a bit by 2%. Why did this happen in 2017? Because then our minister announced, look, my people of Singapore, okay, I will not search or what we call en bloc in private terms, all HDB estates. The maximum I'll go is only about 4% of what's available out there. Meaning after 99 years is fulfilled for HDB unit, it belongs back to the government again. Now, then, do you know immediately after this announcement, what happened to those older flats in Sterling and Toa Payoh? Prices dropped by about $30,000 to $40,000. Okay, because then people will start to think, especially the younger ones like yourself here, okay? The younger ones will start to think, if I buy something older, there's no value, okay, in my flat 10 or 20 years time because the lease will get even shorter and shorter and shorter. So that is why there's a tendency now in the resale market, especially for HDB, for buyers to look up for units that just MOP. Then thereafter, 10, 20 years down the road, okay, the price will start to stabilize or even drop. Okay, so this is the phenomenon that's happening now. But, okay, and also, okay, after the cooling measures in 2013 for the HDB, okay, the prices were corrected, it stabilized. So the long-term goal of HDB was never to crash the market, it's to make sure it's stable. But is stability really that good, my people, in terms of pricing? Okay, that means your price today will be almost the same as the price in 10 years' time. Will there be any gains from it? So you're actually holding on to something called negative equity. Because if you're using CPF to pay for your installment, okay, then I can tell you for sure it will become a negative equity, like what is happening to most customers out there who bought their units 10 or 15 years ago. Okay, so stabilization may not be too good, but instead you must go for properties that have growth. Okay, and private property is one of them that has debunked the belief that during this time of pandemic, prices will drop. In fact, I show you the newspaper article earlier in 2020, resale condominiums actually picked up. Okay, now as first timers, some of you might be first timers out there. Okay, first timers out there. So back in the good old days where our parents shared with us, boy, you should always buy a brand new one for HDB. The Tan Jin Jui one in Hokkien means you will be able to earn a lot if you buy this BTO. Okay, because back then in our parents' era, or during my era for that matter, okay, HDB will cost probably about 80,000, 150,000. Then you can sell for 300,000-400,000. You will make a very big gain in the HDB sale itself. But if you look into the BTOs that is launched for the past 1 year or so, and let's take a look at this Woodlands estate that was BTO launched last year. If you can find from here that there are 3-room, 4-room, and 5-room pricing, the median BTO price, were almost on par with what the market can sell out there. So where is this gain that you're looking at? Where is this pot of gold that you're looking at where in your parents' days you can gain 300,000-400,000 from the sale of your BTO flats? It's virtually impossible now. Okay, so changing hands, okay, in the market, what you're buying now from the BTO is on par with what the resale selling price is. Okay, so gone are the days where you can really earn your first pot of gold. So this is Woodlands I'm talking about. Let's do Bishan a bit closer to town. Okay, you can see from here that there are 3-room pricing, okay, for the BTO, and your 4-room pricing are really on par with what the resale market is out there. So again, my people out there, the esteemed clients of ERA. Okay, so if you're thinking that your first pot of gold can be gotten from a BTO, I'm sad to tell you it may not be. Okay, because the pricing are not much lower than the resale price. Okay, in fact, it's on par. Okay, so remember the ones I tell you to make money, you must buy low and be able to sell high. Okay, so this is something that you should take note of. Okay, ECs naturally have a buffer for growth one. Even before the TOP, these are dropout units. What are dropout units? Aborted units or dropout units are where another buyer, a buyer who buy directly from developer, okay, then further down the road, they think that they are not suitable for each other, okay, so they break up, so they abort the unit. So the developer will take back the unit before TOP and sell it again to another new buyer. You can see from here, I'm taking an example from Treasure Crest, okay, that back in the launch time, okay, a unit called 0914, at launch, someone bought it at 822, aborted it, and the developer resold to a new buyer at 1184. So can you imagine that within a span of 1-2 years, there was already about 44% gain within the development itself? Okay, that is how strong ECs are. okay, even before TOP, there's already paper gain from this. Okay, so this is Treasure Crest. Okay, if you can remember 100 pumps, which was also launched by Hoi Hub, okay, which was sold in one day, in 24 hours. Okay, again, the same phenomenon happened. Someone bought 1219 a few years ago, and then 1 or 2 years down the road, they couldn't get along with each other. They bought a unit, a new couple bought the unit itself, and you can see there's already a 40% gain. So ECs itself, when you buy something, is actually much lower than what the market is providing for new launches. Okay, so this is something you should take note of. Okay, so be the first mover advantage. If everything is within your capabilities and everything is within your expectation itself, better enter. This is called the first mover advantage. Because let me tell you the truth, I have done ECs for the past decades, for the past 10 years to 15 years. I have not seen EC prices drop to a level where the entry price now, okay, is actually lower than the launch price. Never. In fact, prices of EC will have a tendency, 100% of the time I've seen, witnessed myself, gone up as you near TOP itself. So don't regret the decision not to book today. Okay, if you have the chance, I mean on Saturday, not today. If you want to book today, also cannot. Okay, on Saturday itself. Okay, if you have a chance, go ahead and book it, because there is definitely growth and strength in terms of the pricing for the property that you have chosen, called Parc Central Residences. Okay, so another example of growth, and I think I highlighted to you earlier with the graph, you can see from here that Esplanade has gained for about 5% per annum, okay, for the past 8 years, about 40% gain. Okay, so these were all the positive proceeds sale they have gained. So the highest I've seen here from this graph is about 600 over 1,000, almost double what they bought. Okay, so this is Esplanade at EC, at Sengkang, a Privé at Punggol itself. So the gain was even higher than Esplanade, about 55%. Okay, so the gains were close to 500,000, about 5.5% per annum. Now, this kind of gains, my people, okay, very difficult to find for even private property launches itself. So EC do have a strength in itself. Okay, so if a chance to book a unit, please do so on Saturday. Okay, the third reason why you should get EC and especially Parc Central Residences, I call this the inverted funnel effect. Why is the inverted funnel effect? Because from the start here at launch itself, there's certain restriction in ownership, right? Okay, a certain entry price, because everyone knows that, even developer also know, okay, there's only this pool of people that can buy from me, okay, which must be Singaporean, okay, must have income less than 16,000, must not have owned 2 times from HDB before. So very restricted kind of ownership. So the entry level price is lower. 5 years later, when MOP is fulfilled, it becomes semi-restricted. So the market for resale opens up. Okay, 10 years down the road, when it's unrestricted anymore, it becomes totally at the market price. Okay, so this is the advantage of buying an EC. So if you compare EC itself, okay, the price gap tends to catch up with the condo prices faster upon TOP. Okay, so at launch, the price gap between condos and ECs are about 20%, 15 to 20% currently. After MOP, it's about 9%, and privatization, the difference is about 5%. Okay, and in terms of the demographic breakdown of people who buy resale EC itself, you'll be surprised. Okay, most of them, more than half of them are Singaporeans. Okay, PRs will buy, foreigners will buy after 10 years. Why more Singaporeans? Because this pool of Singaporeans here, they have exceeded the income of their bought twice from HDB before, so they cannot buy EC. So if you are the privileged one, if you can buy EC, then don't be this Singaporean here, okay, to buy a resale EC, but be the Singaporean who buy the brand new EC, because I can tell you for sure, in 10 years time, okay, you will stand to gain, okay, from this purchase that you have. Okay, the fourth reason, exit plan. Exit plans are important. So I give you an entry plan. Entry plan is to buy low, which is to considering EC, considering Parc Central Residences. Okay, so what is the exit plan like in District 18? Let's take a look at demographic graph of District 18 itself. That means this color here in liver red means very high density, so more than 50,000. So you can see from here, District 18 has a very high density of young population. Why is young population important? And if you can see from here, these are mostly new towns. Okay, Tampines may not be too new, but but they're developing Tampines North, right? And they're developing Sengkang and Punggol. They're developing Canberra area here as well, in the north area as well. And of course, Tengah will be around here. So you can see there's a high density. When there is a high density of young population, this young population, they may not be able to afford to buy a condominium. Okay, so very likely what is going to happen is they will buy a BTO. But if they buy a BTO, then they have aspiration to upgrade themselves into a condominium. So at District 18 itself, you have a very big pool of young population supporting your resale market next time. Okay, because but truth be told, okay, when people reach the age of 60, 70 years old, they have no tendency to look to upgrade themselves anymore from HDB to condo. Okay, but people in the late 20s all the way to 50 years old, they have a tendency to upgrade themselves from the current flat into a HDB, from HDB into a condominium itself. So these are the people that is important for your resale market next time. Okay, not only that, not only do you have young people in the District 18 itself, you also have transformation coming along. So I'm going to highlight to you what I drawn out from the URA master plan. Okay, that in Tampines South, there will be a surge in more homes. Okay, that means more people living, more community services, and more greener parks. Okay, this is something very close to your heart, where it's very near Park Central residences. There will be even a new polyclinic coming to Tampines North. And this is something that is important, jobs nearer to homes. When there are jobs that's available nearer to homes, there's a tendency for the market, the real estate market to move, both in terms of rental and resale itself. Okay, so this answers a lot of questions, what is going to happen around the empty field right opposite Park Central is. So from here, I found some answers. Those, they are Tampines, they are very likely to be semiconductor and aviation-related industry clusters in Tampines North. So the buyers out there who are concerned with, whether, they're going to build a B2 very heavy industry, you're wrong. We're not going to be like Tuas, my people. It's going to be semiconductor, clean tech, okay, aviation-related industry in Tampines North, Pasir Ris, and Changi itself. Okay, so don't be too worried about empty plot of land there. According to what I've still come from the master plan itself, very likely to be semiconductor and aviation-related industry. Okay, and if you think of it, there's a Paya Lebar air-based transformation which is very near to where Park Central is, right? They cannot be between this new township they're going to build and between Tampines itself, they're going to put one B2 heavy industry factory like Tuas there. Not possible, right? You're trying to sell this land which you're taking back, which is the Paya Lebar Air Base. You cannot be putting one big heavy industry with a lot of pollution going along there. So it's not going to gel well with the people wanting to look at to develop Paya Lebar Air Base itself. Okay, so Paya Lebar Air Base transformation is very near the Tampines itself, and more importantly, nearer to Park Central residence itself. Okay, we are looking at more commercial hub with jobs and amenities for future residents and employees. Okay, so if there are people working there, if there are people looking into the area there, then definitely there'll be a pickup rate for real estate demand there as well. Okay, the fifth reason. Now, it's no secret, all of you should know, okay, by now that there's special regulation for EC ownership, okay, and more importantly to Park Central, which is EC. Okay, first and foremost, if you're holding on to your current HDB flat, okay, there is no additional buy stamp duty payable if you're buying an EC. That's for sure. If you're going to buy a condominium, a private condominium, or new launch or resale one, you have to pay ABSD first, which can be quite hefty. It's 12%. Okay, so for every $1 million you buy, you have to pay upfront 120,000 additional buy stamp duty on top of the stamp duty you have to pay. Okay, then if you're a first timer out there, there's a 30,000 grant, okay, available for you. So please check with our trusted advisors from ERA on the grant eligibility for yourself. And then more importantly, I told you earlier in my presentation to you in this webinar that I serve a lot of second-timer clients. Now this, let me tell you, most of my second-timer clients who are at least holding on to a HDB now goes for this deferred payment scheme. Okay, I'll come into this very shortly. So no ABSD for upgraders. Okay, like I told you, it's about 12% now. So for EC owners, and especially Park Central residences, you are not liable to pay. Okay, then of course, since you don't have to pay ABSD first, okay, then there's no pressure for you to sell first. All right, so you can actually, stay into your current flat if you're a second timer, for that matter, or first timer, but has an existing flat that you're owning. Okay, like some of my clients. Okay, you can do so by holding on to your flat, stay inside there. So when it comes TOP, you sell your flat away, then you move it into Park Central residences. No pressure to sell. Okay. All right. So the grant up to 30K. I'll not delve too much in this. Now, another part to take note here, I need to clarify. Loan to value. Yes, important. So if today you're holding on to a HDB loan over your HDB flat, okay, then you are taking a loan for Park Central residences as well. You are not liable, okay, for under second housing loan quantum, which means your loan quantum decreases to 45%. Okay, in fact, if it's an EC or Park Central for that matter, you still can loan the full 75%. Okay, so this is something special only for executive condominium. Doesn't apply for condos and new launches. Okay, the DPS scheme, deferred payment scheme, this is something to take note of. So deferred payment scheme is a wonderful scheme only meant for EC. This is what I call the real deferred payment scheme. Unlike those in District 9 and 10 where these fake ones. Okay, this is recognized by MAS, recognized by the government. What you do is you pay first 20% upfront, then you defer all your in-between payments, the building construction stages payment all the way to TOP. So upfront you pay 20%, and you pay your stamp duty, then you accumulate your CPF, okay, for the additional 80% that you have to pay later on. So there is no pressure for you to take a loan now if you don't want to, okay, and you can take your loan later on, okay, when the time comes, okay, just before TOP. So this is something very important, and it helped a lot of my second-timer buyers out there, which I served for the past half year or so. So the next question comes: when do you buy? Okay, a lot of my loved ones, my clients ask me, James, when do I buy? Always, my people, okay, if you have faith in the government, if you have faith in our economy, if you have faith in a land scarce country like Singapore, you should buy now. I'll tell you why. District 65 growth rate. District 65 is a pun. District 65 means all the districts in Singapore, okay, because our IDD number is 65, right? So 65, so I'll put 65 growth rate. So for the past 20 years, if you are sitting on nothing, this is the growth chart, okay, that is drawn for private condominium in Singapore. The price change for the past 20 years. The gain was 88.55. So almost a 90% jump. So for every $1 million you have put in, you have gained 90,000, 900,000 if you sell it 20 years down the road. That's what the meaning is. Okay, so the whole Singapore has grown close to 90% for the past 20 years. How does District 18 compare to 65? Because let me tell you, this District 65 means in general the whole Singapore. So how does 18 perform in relation to the whole of Singapore? So the figure is about 90%. Let me show you 18. Look at 18. For the past 20 years, District 18, which is Tampines itself, per se, has grown for more than 100%. So meaning if you hold on to a property in a very simple term, okay, in a very simple term, of course there'll be losses along the way, okay, but in a very simple term, if you buy something in District 18 and hold on to the property for 20 years, $1 million you put in today, you have gained 1 million, 100% in 20 years down the road. Okay, so District 18 has outperformed all the districts on average in Singapore. Okay, so this is something that you should take note of. Okay, this is something that you should know. Okay, and that's what makes Park Central Residences such a strong product you should buy, because not only is a low entry price, but in a very safe district that outperformed the whole of Singapore districts for the past 20 years. Okay, so in summary, why Park Central? Best entry price, you have good growth, you're protected by this entry price. You have this funnel effect where you face challenges in terms of between your fellow Singaporeans now, but in terms of resale, you open up to more people. Okay, sound exit plan, easier ownership, and price resilience despite crisis. Okay, so in summary, okay, that comes to my end of my presentation. But in